The largest convention ever held in this state came off at Kalamazoo yesterday. The number of people in attendance was set down by competent judges at over 30,000. Never did we view such a congregated mass of honest, intelligent men that thronged the streets of the borough city, Niles and Quarry.
Fremont carried Michigan that fall, but Buchanan won the presidency, thus forestalling secession of the South. The stage was set for Lincoln's own candidacy 4 years later in the ensuing Civil War.
The Republicans, making such a good showing with Fremont, all they had to do was add just a little to that, and they could win the presidency in 1860 without any Southern votes. It was ominous.
Zachariah Chandler became a U.S. Senator that fall. He and Lincoln had met for the first time in Kalamazoo, and Chandler, a fiery abolitionist, had thought Lincoln too soft on the South. Chandler would later become a member of the Senate committee to investigate the conduct of the war. Their paths were to cross frequently, and sometimes antagonistically, in the coming years. Chandler eventually was made Secretary of the Interior under President Grant. Hezekiah Wells served as president of the village of Kalamazoo several times. In 1862, he raised the 25th Michigan Infantry, which fought bravely during the war. In 1863, he was appointed by President Lincoln as U.S. Minister to Honduras, a post which he declined. Under President Grant, he was made presiding judge of the Alabama Claims Court. The Alabama had been a Confederate warship operating out of England. After the war, England reluctantly agreed to pay $15 million in war reparations for harboring the ship. Judge Wells' special court met in Washington for 2 years, dispersing the funds to compensate the Alabama's victims. In Lincoln's only visit to Michigan, his speech in Kalamazoo touched on the two major themes of his adult life: the abolition of slavery and the preservation of the Union. These were to be his two goals and his two major accomplishments. The Kalamazoo speech bridges an important period in the development of Lincoln's thought. It is his only speech of this period to have been preserved. Lincoln's references to the growth of sectionalism contain the germ of the idea, which reappears 2 years later in his famous House Divided speech, in which he foresees the coming struggle of the Civil War. A house divided against itself cannot stand. I believe the government cannot endure permanently, half slave and half free. I do not expect the Union to be dissolved. I do not expect the house to fall. But I do expect it will cease to be divided. It will become all one thing or all the other.
Yes, we'll rally round the flag, boys, we'll rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom. We will rally from the hillside, we will gather from the plain, shouting the battle cry of freedom. The Union forever, hurrah, boys, hurrah! Down with the traitor, up with the star, while we rally round the flag, boys, rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom. We are springing to the call of our brothers gone before, shouting the battle cry of freedom, and we'll fill the vacant ranks with 1,000,000 freemen more, shouting the battle cry of freedom. The Union forever, hurrah, boys, hurrah! Down with the traitor, up with the star, while we rally around the flag, boys, rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom. Numbers, the loyal, true, and brave, shouting the battle cry of freedom. And although he may be poor, he shall never be a slave, shouting the battle cry of freedom. The Union forever, hurrah, boys, hurrah! Down with the traitor, up with the star, while we rally round the flag, boys, rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom. And from the west, shouting the battle cry of freedom. And we'll hurl the rebel crew from the land we love the best, shouting the battle cry of freedom. The Union forever, hurrah, boys, hurrah! Down with the traitor and up with the star, while we rally around the flag, boys, we'll rally once again, shouting